different landlords and people in our business that we deal with on the sort of different management services, and I think that Daren, you came up with this. You tried to simplify it as much as you can. I personally think it appeals to everyone. Large portfolio landlords, individuals, and anyone in the market really. So we'll jump into that and we'll talk about LetSimple.
Okay, LetSimple. To coin a phrase, exactly what it says on the tin. What we've tried to do with this is simplify the whole thing with letting fees. So typically, you'd pay setup fees, deposit registration fees, inventory fees,
and that's not changed.
Ever. It's not changed. It's and that's what happens. Messes with your cash flow in your first couple of months because the agent takes all the fees out in the first couple of months, so you get no rent.
And a lot of people don't realise that because I've had so many calls like, "Where's my first month's rent?" and they're reliant on that.
I'd say 90% of. I mean, obviously, it depends on what your price range is. 90% of the properties, the first month's rent is wiped.
Yeah, and when you've got if you've got a buy-to-let mortgage on the property,
it's a lot of.
Where's it coming from? Exactly.
Anyway, the simple thing is we've tried to make it a monthly subscription, basically. So which is the same amount every month, only on 12-month tenancies, and only on properties on £600 per calendar month or above. Now, what it's designed to do is designed to flatten the fees out for the first 12 months. If the tenant stays after the first 12 months, from the 13th month, whatever subscription that you're paying, which is obviously dependent on the rent, will decrease by 40%.
Wow!
So, month 13, your monthly
big
subscription
discount.
goes down by 40% until the tenant leaves, and then you're back on the normal subscription when the new tenant comes in. Included in the whole thing is not just the fees. We've thrown in rent guarantee, which we call landlord disaster recovery. So that's included as long as the tenant obviously qualifies through the reference and whatever. So that's thrown in as well, because a lot of landlords we know don't take up the option of rent guarantee because it's cost.
Do you know? We've got a lot of insurance things we have in our lives, like life insurance, car insurance, etc. The one thing you should have in lettings industry, the one thing you should have to protect your asset is rent protection. You should be getting that every month without fail. And if someone's not paying, you should have insurance in there. I just don't understand why people.
It's the biggest worry, isn't it?
Oh,
if you have an investment property or you're a landlord.
Over the last 2 or 3 years with COVID and all that.
I think the ironic thing is, I think the majority of people that don't take it out are the higher earning properties, and we've had our ones in the past, are rare, very very rare, which I think is sometimes down to the way we deal with them, but they are rare. But you don't take rent for 2 months on like £1,000 a month. You're a couple of grand down. Where's it coming from?
Anything can happen to that tenant.
Exactly.
Fine, you can reference them and they can pass, but who knows what will happen in a month or 2 months or a year down the line.
They don't do it deliberately. It's changes in circumstances for tenants. Anything can happen to anybody, and it's just a protection. And I wanted to include that in this service because I think it's beneficial that landlords have it.
We spoke about earlier about weaving your way through the minefield that is a lot of legislation, and I think the thing about this management service is that you get in like the landlord disaster recovery rent guarantee included, the certification. Obviously, we're in the system, we do it. It's heavily discounted.
You're talking about gas safety,
so EPCRs, everything EPCs, that side of front. We heavily discount it to ensure that it's done and in place. And the reason why we've done that is it's not a money making exercise. It's an exercise where we're trying to ensure that your property and you is covered completely, and we're trying. That's the reason why it's so simple, is because there's no.
Don't got to worry about it.
No worry. Yeah, there's literally no worry. And I think the cash flow thing is it's biggest USP, 100%.
I don't think it's the biggest USP. I think the biggest USP is what we've added on to the end, and we've we've called it the LetSimple Members Club.
Oh yeah.
So basically, what this means is the more landlords that use this particular management service, the cheaper it will be for all of them. So once we get to 25 landlords using this service, everybody's monthly subscription will go down by 0.5%.
Even after the first reduction, after 12 months?
Yeah.
So further reduction.
So 45%.
When we get to...
Sorry, 40.5%.
Don't you try to work out mental maths in your head. When we get to 50 landlords using the service, it goes down by another 0.5%. 75, another 0.5%, 100, another 0.5%, right up to 150. So there's actually a potential discount or potential saving of 3% on whatever your monthly subscription is at the start. And we want to do that because, we're a business, we're an agent, we want more landlords, but the more landlords we get, we want to help that landlord with reduced fees, because it's one of the reasons, right, going back to the start of the conversation, you talk about is buy-to-let still worth it, why are landlords leaving the market? It's because a lot of them feel as though they can't make it pay. Now, all right, that may be because it's the wrong property in the wrong area, etc., etc. But if we can offer a service that the more people that use it, we benefit and the landlord benefits, then that's what we want. That's what we want to try and do.
I think that sometimes as well is down to which agent you have, because, and I harp on about it all the time, about people working the same in the industry being the same, and a letting agency is someone that's supposed to let your property out, when it's not. We've got to protect assets, and the worst thing that someone could say to me, and it might sound coming across as harsh, but I don't want to put the rent up because I want to be fair to the tenant. That to me is just. It's ludicrous. You're not it's a business. You're not protecting your asset. You come to me in a year's time, and your rent isn't up to market scratch, up to the market. As to what it is on that time. We're not going to sell your house.
It devalues the property.
Completely devalues it.
It does. I mean, I understand it. I understood it during the pandemic and COVID, and I think completely. Good tenants, really good tenants, are like gold dust. And it's important that landlords want to keep the void periods down as much as possible. Obviously, if a tenant's not in your house, you're not getting rent. On LetSimple, you're also not paying a subscription when the tenant's not there. But it's important that every little marginal gain for a landlord is important, and that's cutting
Massively.
down your void periods, getting the market rent, and being safe and compliant. It's all about. Those little bits all add up to making the buy-to-let worth it.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, I mean, obviously, with regards to the cash flow as well, it also means you're covered on all the certificates, like you say. Everything will be managed from there as well, won't it? Because it's a fully managed service.
It's a fully managed service.
Everything included in that one monthly fee. There's no, when it comes to reletting, which we've had disputes before where it's been 3 years, landlord's not let his property out, forgotten how much everything costs, and then they're getting slapped with all these say setup fees and remarketing fees, and they just don't understand how much it all costs still. So when this each month they're paying the same figure, it's simple.
I mean, we've had some experience with this. I know it's obviously just come in, but we've just brought a landlord over with 6 properties. You've been speaking to a landlord with another 10 properties, and the interest we've had from it, especially from that side of it, has been massive. I mean, the guys obviously snapped our hand off on it the first time, because we weren't cheaper. I'll be honest, we weren't cheaper than the other agent actually offering the fully managed service to him. We weren't actually cheaper at all. I think we're about 2% a month more expensive, but it's to him, that's my rent, that's what you're taking from me, that's my end number. That's what he's going to get every single month.
Incentives.
That's it.
You don't tend to get incentives on a service, and he's got ongoing benefits with the reductions that you can get available to you.
And when he brings all his mates across, 0.5% off.
Can we just confirm it is per person, not the amount of properties in
it's per person.
Yeah, it's per landlord. We're trying to help landlords, but obviously if they have got more than one property in the portfolio, whatever discount applies to all their properties.
But landlords do know landlords, so tell your friends.
And,
they do.
It's. I've been thinking about this for a while, but we're an independent, family-owned business. We can do these sort of things. We're a corporate entity who have, it's got to go through 26 levels of, passing through various management tiers before something like this can be agreed and put into place, which is one of the reasons why we want to do it. We're independent. We haven't got corporate shareholders breathing down our neck.
How I know one else has done it.
And that's why we feel it can benefit.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think it's great.
Well, we're really excited about it, aren't we? Because, like I say, I mean,
well, to all, I mean, obviously we sell stuff, and I think our service that we offer for clients when we're selling properties is actually very good. And I think that when we're selling this, I think that they're buying into it a little bit more, because I think we are genuinely excited about it. And to me, it's an easy sell. There's no downside to it. And there's sometimes, and it just happens across both sides. You sometimes combating with fees, but because it's something different and you're looking at it in sort of a different perspective and looking at it from a different way, I think that it is appealing to people. And I genuinely, to the portfolio landlords, I think it's massively appealing to them, because the portfolio landlords are the ones that when we speak to those people. Obviously there's a personal relationship there, but it is facts and it's figures. Every month you're going to be getting this amount. That's it. That's all they care about. They want to know the property's up to standard, which it is. They want to know that maintenance costs, repairs are up to standard.
It's simple. And I think we want to be transparent with it as well. So with the members, thing, we've got a private Facebook group called LetSimple Members Club. So anybody that takes this service will be invited to join that private Facebook group. So anybody can go on and see how many current members there are. We want to be transparent. So if we're at 24, we only need one more, and everybody gets a discount. And then people can sort of spread the word. We can also use it for legislation updates and important industry news for the people that are part of that group. But primarily, it's to show how many members are in that group. So everybody knows where they stand.
No, I think it's really good.